The pet rock was a fad that started in 1975. It was one of the biggest gift crazes in American history. Pet Rocks was the brainchild of Gary Dahl. It was a guy's night out in April of 1975 at a local bar in Los Gatos, and Dahl was working as a freelance advertising copywriter. He was out with some of his friends at a dinner, listening to them complain about all the work involved in caring for a pet and how much of a pain they were. All the feeding and walking, not to mention having to scoop all the poop. Dahl couldn't relate because he didn't have a pet of his own, but to join into their conversation, he told them he had no problem because his house pet was a rock. Gary declared that his pet never caused him any trouble whatsoever. How so? Rather than keep a golden retriever, a Siamese, or a guinea pig, he had a pet rock. It was a dumb joke, but one that Dahl instantly thought might just be silly enough to work. His joke was a good laugh, but an idea sunk in for the advertising pitchman, Dahl thought. What if there were a pet that did not require any care or feeding? He realized his cute remark may actually have real commercial possibilities, and being able to own a rock as a pet was no longer just a joke. He figured no one would buy an ordinary rock. Gary settled on the smooth rocks of Rosarito Beach in Baja California, Mexico, which he had first purchased at a building supply store. Within a couple weeks, he talked a couple of workmates into becoming investors. Securing $10,000 in investments from these two colleagues, Dahl sourced rocks from a local supplier and prepared to launch his unconventional project. They hit the local hardware store together, where they literally bought a truckload of smooth beach stones for about 1 penny each. Packaging was the next challenge, so he designed a custom cardboard box with ventilation holes, straw bedding, and a handle mimicking a pet carrier. He printed stenciled lettering on the side stating, "This box contains one genuine pedigreed pet rock." He quickly set up writing his 34-page The Care and Training of Your Pet Rock manual. It included instructions for teaching the rock to stay, sit, and play dead, and touted the rock's long lifespan as a faithful companion. It would not need to be fed, walked, bathed, groomed, and would never become sick or disobedient. One funny little instruction included, if when you remove the rock from its box, it appeared to be excited, place it on some old newspapers. The manual read, "The rock will know what the paper is for and will require no further instruction. It will remain on the paper until you remove it." "Your pet rock will be a devoted friend and companion for many years to come," stated Dahl's book, which featured illustrations of the rock in action. Rocks enjoy a long lifespan, so the two of you will never have to part, at least not on your pet rocks account. Once you have transcended the awkward training stage, your rock will mature into a faithful, obedient, loving pet with but one purpose in life: to be at your side when you want it to, and to go lay down when you don't. Introduced in time for the holiday gift-buying season at the annual San Francisco Gift Show in August of 1975, the stones cost him only a penny each, but he packed them in a gift box and attached his training manual and offered them for a sale to retailers for $2 each. The rocks were a hit at the show, and Dahl could barely keep up with the orders that came rolling in. Neiman Marcus, the giant retail chain, ordered 500. By October, Dahl was shipping out some 10,000 pet rocks a day. His guesstimate was that he was selling 100,000 rocks a day. By Christmas, he had sold over 1 million of these adorable creatures. At $3.95 per retail, that made for an enormous profit margin. Now, who the hell would pay for something they could easily find in their own backyard? Incredibly, in the months leading up to Christmas 1975, it turns out more than 1.5 million people did. The outgoing bearded ad man was now a millionaire, and with that came instant celebrity. Dahl appeared on The Tonight Show twice and was profiled in newspapers and magazines across the country, including Newsweek. Like every other fad, pet rocks came and went almost overnight. While Dahl managed to trademark the name, he couldn't stop competitors from selling a rock in a box, so the marketplace was quickly flooded with lonely stones that couldn't find a home. A craze that Newsweek later called one of the most ridiculously successful marketing schemes ever was over. Soon after the Christmas of 1975, demand for pet rocks began to plummet. By February of 1976, it had hit its peak and the mania had subsided. He wasn't concerned about the rocks that later didn't sell. Dahl himself had to give away thousands of unsold stones to charity. He would later say he would have used them to repave his driveway. Having earned enough to retire on, however, he was not complaining. As the fad fizzled, Dahl estimated that he had sold 1.5 million pet rocks for $3.95 each, turning 95 cents profit on each unit, and became a millionaire. Not a bad haul for devising a preposterous but pleasant pet. Dahl used his profits to purchase a bar in Los Gatos, California, called Carrie Nations. I was born in that city a month after the mania had died. The bar was probably down the street from my house. He embarked on a lucrative second career, giving motivational speeches and writing books about how to make $1 million fast. He tried another fad selling sand breeding kits and red china dirt, but they didn't catch much public interest. Dahl produced thousands of television and radio commercials through Gary Dahl Creative Services. His brainchild would live on. The pet rock was commemorated in a scene from the 1999 Mike Judge comedy, Office Space.
You know, there are people in this world that don't have to put up with all this shit. Like that guy that invented the pet rock. You see, that's what you have to do.
Gary Dahl passed away in 2015 at the age of 78. In 2022, the toy company Super Impulse purchased the rights to the pet rock, reviving the brand. In the 2020s, pet rock grew in popularity in South Korea as tools for meditation or venting out frustrations. Members of the K-pop groups such as 17 and ENHYPEN posted about their pet rocks online. The pet rock had a lasting impact on popular culture. The character Zoe from Sesame Street owns a pet rock named Rocco. A video of Elmo from Sesame Street shouting at Rocco went viral in early 2022. In the film Minions: The Rise of Gru, the character Otto acquires a pet rock. He trades the Zodiac Stone for it, an integral part of the plot. There's even an official pet rock video game for the Nintendo Switch. A Funko Pop depicting Otto with his pet rock was also released. So what made the pet rock so appealing? For many, it was the sheer absurdity of the concept, an inanimate object marketed as a pet, complete with an owner's manual and packaging mimicking that of for living pets. In a world filled with responsibilities and complexities, the simplicity and novelty of the pet rock offered a moment of whimsy and escapism. It turns out Dahl was decades ahead of his time. His genius was in the branding. So what do you remember about this place? Leave a comment or a suggestion for a future video below. And if you haven't already, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.
Bringing back memories from the good old days. That's super cool, man.